Hey, I'm DJ, and I managed to escape to Diamond after being hard stuck Emerald 4 for months and only peaking at Emerald 2 36 LP. And the secret to climbing, especially below Diamond, is something everybody hates hearing. Fundamentals, consistency, discipline, and a little bit of ego death. It took me months to really understand those things, but honestly, it doesn't have to take that long for you. Anybody can climb if they're willing to put in effort, stay consistent, and actually learn from their mistakes. Before we get into the advice, let me set a baseline. I'm not a pro player. I'm not even some insane mechanical or macro god. Before 2026, I had peaked Emerald 4 despite playing League of Legends for roughly 6 years. To be fair, I started when I was like 14, took huge breaks, and mostly played casually. So when I came back in December, my mechanics were decent at best and my macro was basically non-existent. The one thing I did have was champion knowledge. I knew abilities, I knew cooldowns, and what most champions wanted to do. That alone is already a massive element that is crucial for every player looking to climb. But I'm certain that most of you watching already know this information. And that leads into one of the biggest issues I had: boredom and indecision. Knowing all the champions led to me having an interest in all of them. My mistake was trying to enjoy the game through variety, not perfection. For the longest time, I swapped roles constantly. Top one game, jungle the next, then mid, then ADC after a losing streak because obviously my teammates were the problem, and I could definitely do their job better. You're telling me that you lost lane as Vhagar? Really? The champion scales for free. I'm gonna try him out, and we're definitely gonna win this one, and I just got solo killed by Echo 10 times in a row. 100 stacks in 20 minutes. Maybe there's a little bit more to it. The reality is this: unless you're already experienced in every role, you are not going to outperform someone who consistently plays that role every game. You don't understand every matchup, every power spike, every timing window, or every lane dynamic just because you saw somebody having a bad game and think you are the ace of all trades. And first time encounter picks? Stop doing that. It almost never works. You don't know why or how Malphite does well into Vayne and will still get kited to the gray screen on repeat. The person playing that character most likely has over 20 games fighting that specific matchup. They know the ins and outs of it. You don't. So my first real breakthrough was simple. Pick a role, pick a champion, stick with it. You don't need the perfect champion for that specific situation. You need overall mastery. Yeah, one-tricking can get boring sometimes, especially considering you see all of these amazing and in-depth characters that are so much fun to play. But if you actually want to climb, consistency matters more than entertainment. Crazy, I know, in a video game. Go play Norms if you want variety and to actually enjoy this godforsaken game, because it is a good game. It is one of my favorite games and I wouldn't stick with it if it wasn't good, but ranked is where you refine your game. You show your best. This is not to say never play other champions. A great learning tool is to actually play the matchup that you hate and learn their limits. Once I finally settled into a role and actually learned my matchups, I hit another wall. I was still stuck despite hundreds of games, and this is where the ego death happened. Here's the hard truth that completely changed how I viewed the game. If you are not climbing consistently, you are the problem. That doesn't mean team diff isn't real. It is. Some games are comparable to trying to win a game of tug of war, and the enemy team isn't even that good, but you got one person punching you in the grundle, and the other three arguing about the grundle puncher, screaming and crying, while you desperately pull on the rope and realize nobody else is pulling on this rope. But if you plateau for hundreds of games, the common factor is you. You might be the grundle puncher. I realized this when I was playing everyday bruisers in the top lane around Plat 2. I'd go even in lane, maybe get a kill or two. If I was lucky, I broke turret at 15 minutes, but I never built huge advantages. Then I'd start blaming everybody else. I only lost because I got camped. My jungler hasn't come up here once. He has no objectives. Bot lane is 0 and 6. Mid lane is 0-1, has done nothing. And I have a 20 CS gap. It's over. But looking back, I wasn't doing enough with the advantages I did have. I was relying on my team to create the game for me instead of becoming the deciding factor myself. That mindset shift is what eventually pushed me into the jungle because I saw it as the most influential role. I picked up Fiddlesticks, and jungle completely changed how I understood the game. Top lane taught me how to micro, jungle taught me macro. It taught me that League really is just a game about resources and opportunities. And this is the biggest lesson jungle taught me. Play to become the win condition. That does not mean ignore your team, except for the baloney they spew in chat, or play selfishly every game. It means stop relying on random solo queue players to consistently carry your climb for you. Your goal should be to become strong enough to influence the game yourself and end before the enemy team becomes as strong as you. Roughly at the 30-minute marker, ultimately scale into the game and lead your team to a win with playmaking. Because the truth is, most players already know that they should become strong. In fact, they have a great understanding of macro. They just aren't consistent enough to make the correct decisions. People know they shouldn't overstay, they know they shouldn't greed for plates, they know they shouldn't force opportunities that don't exist, but then ego kicks in. Or the boredom. Or the frustration. I call this ADHD laning. You get a lead, push wave after wave, and instead of freezing and denying resources, you force low percentage plays because you're impatient and want something exciting to happen. One of the biggest improvements I made was understanding that denying and securing resources is often stronger than getting kills, as it provides significantly more XP and overall gold. You don't always need to kill your opponents to destroy them. You need the opportunities they gift to you, and they will, trust me. Even if you are a challenger, cream of the crop, everybody makes mistakes in the span of one game. Freezing waves, stealing camps, punishing recalls, invading on timers, taking objectives cross-map. That's how consistent players build leads, and information is what creates those opportunities. I'm certain everybody knows to ward, but knowing and actually doing it consistently are two very different things. Oftentimes I see in my Emerald to Diamond games anyone that isn't the jungle or support have extremely low vision scores. A ward isn't just a defensive alarm bell for when somebody is actively ganking you. It's information, and information lets you punish people. Here's what I mean. You shove with a wave in, and the opposing laner is stuck at their turret farming. Most people just dance around waiting. Instead, go ward the enemy jungle. You know exactly where your opponent is, so use that. You spot Graves pathing towards you? Perfect. Now your jungler can counter-invade, steal camps, secure an objective, or pressure another lane entirely. That's vision turning into leverage, and communication is what multiplies it. Your teammates aren't watching the map, we both know this. So a well-timed ping can turn that ward into a cross-map play that never would have happened otherwise. Just don't spam it, or you become the noise that nobody listens to. Vision, information, communication. It's all one chain, and most people are only using the first link. That single concept made Smurfs feel way less oppressive to me, not because I suddenly became better than them, but because I learned how to minimize losses and punish openings instead of panicking. And all of this comes back to one thing: resources. Everyone starts the game equally, same level, same gold. So if someone ends up massively ahead, there was an opportunity somewhere they got missed. These games are the most important to review for improvement. Notice when an opponent is starting to snowball ahead and how you could have minimized their advantage. Kills matter, sure, but guaranteed income matters more. Minions, camps, XP, tempo. That's the real currency of solo queue. A great example of discipline is one rule I started following after seeing it in a video. It is when I am in the jungle, I must clear my entire quadrant before looking for place, unless something is completely free, and even then I have to plan for how that disruption to my clear is going to affect me later. That discipline alone massively improved my consistency, as it taught me more and more concepts such as camp timers that I didn't consider very impactful but made the difference in my climb. Ironically, after swapping from Fiddlesticks to Master Yi to Mordekaiser, I finally understood just how broken efficient farming actually is in low yellow. Yi was the champion that really taught me tempo, rotations, and consistent farming, but Mordekaiser was a secret weapon I brought over from top lane and took my weak dueling jungle and turned into something that just straight up refused to lose a 1v1. Before, I'd be ahead in kills, but only slightly ahead in CS. Close enough to matter, but not enough to actually be the deciding factor. Now I consistently build massive farm leads through rotations, invades, and efficient pathing, and the best part is, those skills transfer to every single jungler I pick up after this. That's when I realized climbing isn't really about flashy mechanics or perfectly predicting every decision the enemy will make. It's about consistency in every decision, it's about fundamentals and being able to think ahead, it's about recognizing opportunities and actually being prepared to capitalize on them. Luck in League is just opportunity meeting preparation. And once I finally understood that, climbing stopped feeling impossible. No matter how difficult the climb may seem, no matter how awful your teammates are, somebody has made this climb before you, and you can too. Climbing in League of Legends isn't an easy process for most, and it definitely isn't the quickest thing. But there is a surefire way to climb, and I'm the living proof. Go out there and start playing your ranked games, but have a growth mindset, and not a need to win one single game. I'm confident in anybody's ability to climb. Hey, this was my first ever scripted video. If you like what you see and are interested in more, be sure to subscribe. Put your advice in the comments below, and join me on my adventure to Masters and beyond. Hey, quick update about that. While I was editing this video, I actually hit Masters, so see you on the way to Challenger. Peace!